So I set a little test a few days ago. 2 clips from a TV drama. What was different about the sound? I titled the video 99% of audiophiles won't notice this. Well, I thought maybe a third would and 2/3 wouldn't. But that wouldn't have been as good a title. If you haven't watched my previous video, there's a link in the description. You might want to watch it and test yourself. Or you can just watch this and I'll give you the answer. Here are the clips, a total of 21 seconds with 2-channel stereo audio. Come on, you know that your monophone speaker won't be up to the job, don't you? Headphones or earbuds will be fine.
Thanks, Maria. Hello, darling.
Can't stop. Gallery opens Friday and Sue's got COVID. It's been chaos.
Filming later, yeah?
Yep. Oh, your guests. They're waiting in the dining room.
Keep your body language and your vocal tone neutral at all times. No crossed arms, no raised voice, no sign of aggression or impatience.
Everything you say or do or think has to come through us. What's the point of being ambassador if all I'm doing is reading?
Now, commenters noticed all kinds of things. That's okay. Audio is a subjective experience and no one noticed anything that wasn't there. Imagine what they heard, in other words. Some commenters mentioned things that wouldn't really be an issue. The second clip is louder, for instance, but then that's the sound of a busy corridor compared to a cosy room. All that's fine. You heard what you heard. What stood out for me, however, at various points in the show, I just picked 2 clear example scenes, was that sometimes the dialogue is mono, sometimes it's stereo. So in the first clip, the dialogue is very wide stereo. In the second, it sounds to me completely mono. Notice that I said the dialogue, because this is where mono versus stereo is the biggest issue. In both clips, the music and other sounds are stereo, but in the first, the dialogue is stereo, the second, mono. Let's listen again.
Thanks, Maria. Hello, darling.
Can't stop. Gallery opens Friday and Sue's got COVID. It's been chaos.
Filming later, yeah?
Yep. Oh, your guests. They're waiting in the dining room.
Keep your body language and your vocal tone neutral at all times. No crossed arms, no raised voice, no sign of aggression or impatience.
Everything you say or do or think has to come through us. What's the point of being ambassador if all I'm doing is reading?
Does this matter? Well, it matters if you care. Professionals care, or at least they should. Listeners might not, as long as they can understand what's going on. But I did say audiophile, didn't I? Translating from the Latin and Greek, it's similar to lover of hearing. Or lover of sound would be close. And if you love sound, you'll care. So what are the rights and wrongs? Is there a right? Is there a wrong? Well, consider the case of cinema sound. Apart from a very lucky few cinema goers, some of the audience is closer to the left speaker behind the screen, some closer to the right. So stereo pan effects work less well the further to the edge of the auditorium you're seated. Also, when the camera shot changes, the characters may have different positions on the screen. The worst case being crossing the eye line, as it's called, when 2 characters seem to swap positions left and right. What's the sound mixer supposed to do? Traditionally, these issues were handled by routing all or most of the dialogue to a centre speaker. The music and other sounds could be stereo because they don't matter so much. This always works, and going back a few years, I've made a couple of videos that demonstrate this. Links in the description. But clearly this imposes limits on creativity, so in recent years we've come to expect more of the dialogue to be in stereo, particularly in television where off-axis listening isn't such an issue. And this is the case with the first clip, a cosy domestic scene where the woman speaks as she walks downstairs. Her voice follows her movement, and so do her footsteps, if you listen closely. In the second clip, well, I can't see why the dialogue couldn't have been given a bit of a stereo spread. But as far as I can hear, there's none. It's mono coming straight down the line in a phantom centre image. The music is definitely stereo, and if I listen closely, I'm pretty sure there's some width to the footsteps. So the actress coming down the stairs, she could have been recorded with a mic like this, or a miniature mic concealed in her costume or hair, or re-recorded later. In any of these cases, her voice could be panned into position to match her movement. As for the corridor scene, I'm going to guess that all the dialogue was re-recorded, using the original as a guide. Footsteps from a sound effects library. That's my guess anyway. Why the dialogue needs to be mono? Well, watching the show, I found the changes between mostly mono dialogue and occasional stereo rather jarring. It wouldn't affect my enjoyment, but being an audio enthusiast, these are the kinds of things I notice. Anyway, I'm going to conclude that despite my previous estimate that most people wouldn't hear the issue, most commenters did. Maybe even the full 99% if I count up. Not many isolated the issue to the dialogue, but I can forgive that. So what do you think? Yes, it's important because you care. If you've got this far in the video, you clearly do. But do you prefer dialogue in stereo, which works when it works, but sometimes doesn't? Or would the compromise of mono dialogue and stereo music and other sounds work better? I'll throw in here that I've just been watching an episode of Pluribus, fresh off the Steenbeck. Dialogue, unless I missed something, mono, all the way through. Comment now. Oh, and if you're a TV dialogue pro, we'd love to hear your thoughts. See you soon.